Hey, there's the Heir of Carthage bringing you a Rome Total War campaign video with commentary. I have just landed my ships off of the coast of Italy near Rome, and I am engaging the army of the Senate. As you can see, their army is here, and it's set up in the Acer triplex formation. They have the typical Primarian troops, and here's some Samnite gladiators as well. They have a ballista unit in the rear, and that's pretty much it. They have a couple of generals on the field and some Equite cavalry. So, very nice looking army that the Senate's fielding here. But if you look at my unit roster, you'll see that I have 2 General's Armored Bodyguards. I have 7 Sacred Band infantry, 4 Sacred Band cavalry, 1 armored elephant, 3 units of slingers, and 3 units of onagers. All of my units have the silver weapon armor upgrade. So right now I'm just barraging the enemy with onager fire in an attempt to drop their numbers and their morale. I'm going to target the enemy general with my onagers in an attempt to kill the general and thus strike a blow to their morale. So, in any case, my onagers are moving up just a bit. They were just a tad bit out of range. Let's get down here for some of the action. So here goes. Yeah. For the glory of Carthage, let the stones fly. So, that was just... Oh, and apparently I killed one of the enemy generals because the little sword icon just dropped down there. But it wasn't the commanding general. So artillery is good for killing enemy generals. As you can see, I just took out 2 of them in a couple of shots. Now I'm going to switch to fire pots and let their army have it. Now here's one of the points where the computer's not too intelligent. A lot of times when you have a missile superiority, the computer will just sit there and take whatever punishment you decide to deal to them. So, because they're willing to take it, I'm willing to deal it. So I'm going to skip part of this, and I'll come back to you when I've completed my artillery barrage. Alright, as you can see, I finished my artillery barrage. Artillery isn't all that effective unless it has a lot of experience chevrons, and mine doesn't yet. You can see that I've caused general damage to most of the Roman army. Almost every unit has suffered some casualties, which is good. In fact, you can zoom up close here, you can see some charred Romans on the ground there where they took some artillery hits, some units worse than others. But remember that before the real meat of the fight has even started, I've killed both generals. Now in this match, I'm going to have a marked cavalry superiority. I'm also going to have a missile superiority. The Romans are only fielding velites. Now, their general's making a foolish charge towards my front line. So I set my slingers on skirmish, and their general is going to get locked onto my phalanx. For some reason, my slingers didn't. There they go. Now they're on skirmish. So I'm going to run my slingers back in an attempt to lock up what's left of his general's bodyguard. Okay, his general's bodyguard retreated. I'm just going to bring my slingers behind the line. Here, these units are foolishly charging my armored elephants. So I'm going to engage them. I'm going to bring out my Sacred Band cavalry. So there, my elephants have torn into the enemy infantry. It's just velites and principes. My elephants should make short work of them. There, my elephants are charging on. Armored elephants are very tough. Now they may run amok, but I don't care if they do. I'm prepared for that. So here I'm going to charge in with my Sacred Band cavalry. They have Triarii hot on their heels, so I'm trying to rout that unit of Equites and then move on. Basically, I'm using my elephants to completely ravage the back lines of the Romans. Oh, my elephants have run amok. There's too many enemies there, so I'm going to kill them. Okay, so my elephants are going to drop before they cause too much damage to my horsemen. And because their army's in disarray, I'm going to run my cavalry amok and take advantage of that.
The gods have smiled! The arrogant Roman leader is dead, and his men feel your wrath!
So there goes another Roman leader. That's 3 members of the Roman faction that have died there. Okay, they got some Triarii coming after my men now, so I'm going to get my Sacred Band cavalry out of there. As you can see at this point, it's been a little chaotic, but I've pretty much routed the majority of the Roman army between my elephant and cavalry strike. I had a huge cavalry advantage between my elephants and my Sacred Band cavalry. Now, I fully expected my elephants to run amok. Even with armored elephants, they almost always do. So, it wasn't a big deal. So I'm going to hit those units of Roman infantry. As you can see, they never really even got to engage my infantry line because I hammered them immediately with my cavalry force. And that's good because I need to save my infantry for the impending invasion of Rome. So here my Sacred Band cavalry is working over these Principes. And, yep, here they are. These Romans don't really act like they have the will to fight. And who can blame them? Look at the Carthaginian army that was facing them. Quite a strong army. As you can see, most of my army didn't even have to get involved in this battle. And these Triarii are chasing my Sacred Band cavalry, and I'm not going to allow them to catch them. So as you can see, the computer's tactics are terrible. They didn't come in with a congruent infantry line, and they paid the price for it. And because they didn't mass their troops, my elephants caused quite a lot of damage. They didn't outflank my phalanx line. Now remember, the enemy had 13 units of infantry. That's a lot of infantry. And so they should have massed their infantry against my flanks. Should have taken some to each flank, because otherwise my my army's infantry was far superior. So anyway, the Roman army is in full retreat. Sometimes the computer will do that, where they'll try and withdraw from the battlefield to save their men. So when they choose to be cowardly like that, I choose to really pour on the pressure. So since they're going to turn tail, I'm going to teach them what happens when you turn your back to a Carthaginian army. So just because I didn't entrap these soldiers like Hannibal did at Cannae, I'm still going to massacre the lot of them, because I don't want them to go back and defend Rome. So in any case, as you can see, this is going to be a clear victory for me. The computer's tactics are terrible, and so I hope you learned something from the way I fought them. Make sure to exhaust your long-range missiles. When you move in close, sometimes your like slingers and stuff, the Romans will just charge at them if you have them in front of their line. Not just the Romans, any faction. And so it kind of makes it hard to use short-range missiles, or to use all of your short-range missiles, because the computer gets impatient and will just charge your lines. But you can use that to your advantage also. If you put some missile units out in front of a phalanx line, typically the enemy general will be foolish enough to charge your front line, and you can kill him early on in the battle. So as you can see, these units are just getting mobbed by my cavalry, and I'm going to try and hurry and catch this unit of Principes before they make it off the battlefield. Now they routed, seeing their comrades rout. There they go, that's what they get for running. If they would have just surrendered to the Carthaginians in the first place, or sent me some type of diplomatic messenger that said, "We love Carthage and wish to join." No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't expect the Romans to do that. So, in any case, it's pretty much just a simple matter of mopping up these last units. Let's watch. That looked ugly. There went some Romans flying. I mean, that is some heavy cavalry there for this time period. So here's the results screen. I had 1,335 kills. My leader was Theophanes Corduba. And Nero Aeneas had 50 kills with his army, and he lost a lot of men, and so did Asinius Corpulentus. So anyway, they did not live up to the tradition of Romans.